Monbasa, Mvita. Topic: Sabotage. When I was able to buy my first video decoder and a colored TV for the first time, I got a video that was about an assassin called Carlos the Jackal. We were buying the video. It was when you had a video decoder and you had that spool, the video spool. Here was an assassin that could do things but could not be caught. It was interesting. He used stealth. He was treacherous and he was covert. I gathered it was a film after the assassin Carlos the Jackal, whose real name was controversial. People would not arrive to his real name, and his arrest, controversial. And his judgment, controversial. They said his origin was from Venezuela. Others said he was from France. Others said he was from... So they could not be able to make out his origin properly. Then, his place of arrest, because he was arrested outside the country that he was being tried. So, there was this debate. Can you abduct somebody somewhere and judge him in another place? And as the cases were going on, they had just to retain him. But again, judgment could not be passed because the place of arrest was not within the jurisdiction of judgment. I don't know how it ended. I don't know how he ended. This was the movie and that was the person. This having ended that way, I decided to think of what has been happening around the world. We had an environmental conference in a country where some people complained because many countries came and they were not ready to make changes. The ice in the South Pole is almost reaching an irreversible way of melting if we don't change our ways. The North Pole, there was a time when I was watching TV, it used to be ice, but there was a time when there were just small pieces of ice here and there. And you could not even know where the North Pole was. Surprise! Because the North Pole used to have ice throughout the year. This has happened because we went for fossil fuels. We went for coal. We went for oil. And all those things. And the big companies belonged to the big countries and belonged to the people who lead most of the things in the big countries. So now the environment change and the impact on the planet Earth has sent the scientists who are again from the same countries coming up with things to save up the melting, because they know once that melting happens, some countries will sink. They'll be under the water. So they moved very fast to make changes. And we are glad they have made changes now. We have electric cars, we have electric motorbikes, we have now people, with the way things are going, I think we shall be cooking with electricity. You can also try making those things that I was given ideas and see if they can work. But when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about these things. I'm talking about the greed that is with the people who are in the oil economy. They don't want to let go. It has made them millionaires. It's making them billionaires. How can they let go? So they don't mind if the snow will melt. They don't mind if everything will happen. They have to get their oil, make their fast money, be rich, control the world. But if things go haywire with the world, do they care? This was the first time people talked of forests that could not be able to forestall temperature changes. being used so that people pay, they don't use. Stop using their oil and whatever. But it reached a point where people came to their senses and the electric vehicles and whatever have now started hitting the market. But what is happening with the oil people? They are not ready to let go. So the vehicles have come. I'm supposed they're supposed to have chargers and whatever. To those who have bought, I'm not in that position at the moment. So for those who have bought, they have come with places like filling stations, which is a good thing. In case your vehicle runs short of electricity, you can be able to charge. But in some countries, I think people have chargers. You can charge the vehicle, you can charge the motorbike, you can charge whatever at home. Other countries have decided to remove that option and make sure that wherever they charge cannot be able to sustain the distance that is needed. This is not done because those things cannot work. It's done deliberately to make this thing as unpleasant as possible to the users so that they go back to the oil thing they wanted. You are told if you put this amount of oil, you can cover this distance. No problem. Now look, this one, I filled it for you to go maybe 100 kilometers. Now it has gone 40. And it's dry. Leaves you dry in a place you did not expect. So you have to come and get another thing, another charge battery or something like that. You are not given the charger. You are not allowed the charger. Why don't they allow even the charger? You can charge at home, charge wherever, charge to the maximum, and they'll do the services. That is the greed that has come. We're forgetting that the ozone layer and these other things are being destroyed. We're trying to get crafty, thinking we can be able to change and cheat the earth. We cannot cheat the earth. Let's not sabotage, because it is because of this urgent need to forestall global warming that the scientists in those very countries who had the technology and were not ready to give it are now giving it quickly so that we forestall that. So the companies that were used to oil, the people who are used to oil, I know you have the money and you have bought some of these electric things. Please don't sabotage for the world, because the ice melts, everything happens, we are in trouble. But to you, you see the money dwindling. So make the electric things as uncomfortable as possible so that people don't want to use them. They go back to oil. It's reliable. This one, you charge, it will leave you hanging in the street. If it leaves you hanging in the street, how do you get to the next charge? That is the situation that is happening. Deliberate sabotage, so that people lose interest. And for people who are getting into that, I talked to somebody young also today and he's telling me the same thing. Can't get an electric, because if you get electric, the other people who have been leaving them high and dry. Better go back to the reliable oil, which, you know, if you put this much, you are able to cover this distance. Rather than be told this charge will take you this, you go quarter way, you are dry. You have to get back, return the battery, return something of the sort to do that. Whereas you could get chargers where you can charge and charge to the maximum. Not that you have charged, and that's the situation that it is. So it's a worldwide problem. Sabotage, people refusing to change. But where we are and the environmental problem that we have, we just have to make changes. Let's not sabotage, because it may be against our posterity, it may be against our very own countries that we think we are growing rich in. Because if some places go under, if the earth reaches a place where the melting and everything cannot be stopped, we shall all face this problem. Those who used oil, those who did not use, we shall all have to face that. So this is just to call to the world. If we have taken a step of saving the world, let's take it seriously. Let's make sure that we don't sabotage the very thing that is supposed to salvage the environmental problems that we have been having. It has taken a long way. People even complaining, countries that have got people who are capable, not sending somebody, people who are very good in that area. But it has reached a point where the companies and whatever have now agreed and they have seen the need. Please, those who are making this, don't sabotage. Let's save the earth. That's my take for now.